There's something interesting happening in American backyards right now. Nobody's talking about it. Homeowners over 55 are making the same 10 small upgrades. Not pools, not outdoor kitchens, not the big stuff. Just 10 very specific changes, most of them under $100, that turn the backyard from something they used to enjoy into something that actually works for them now. I'm gonna walk you through all 10. Most of these you can do this weekend. None of them require a contractor. And one of them, number 7 on the list, is the one nobody is going to tell you about. Not your landscaper, not your neighbor, not the guy at Home Depot. The whole reason I made this video was to get to that one, so stick with me. Let me start with the upgrade. Most people don't think about until they trip on something in their own yard. Walk out your back door at night. Right now. Is the path to wherever you go, the garden, the trash cans, the gate, actually lit? Or are you walking through dark patches and hoping for the best? This is the one nobody pays attention to until something bad happens. And then it's too late. The fix is dirt cheap. A 6-pack of solar path lights at Home Depot runs you 15, maybe $30. You stick them in the ground along whatever path you walk most. Done. If you want something brighter and more reliable, low-voltage LED kits run a little more, but they last for years. Either way, 2 things happen. You stop walking through dark holes in your own yard, and the whole back of the house starts looking cared for the second the sun goes down. $20 and a Saturday afternoon. That's the whole thing. Next one. Walk to your back deck and take a real look at the railing. If you don't have one, and your deck is more than a step or 2 off the ground, you should, even if local code doesn't require it, especially if you're over 55. Here's the thing nobody says out loud. A deck railing isn't just for kids. It's for the night you walk out in your slippers and reach for something that wasn't where you thought it was. It's for the second you tilt one way further than your knees were planning to. A simple wood railing painted black does 2 things at once. It catches you on the bad night, and the rest of the time it makes the deck look 10 times better. You don't need anything fancy. A simple 2-rail wood frame at 36 inches high gets the job done. Stain it dark. The materials are a couple $100 at Home Depot if you do it yourself. The kind of upgrade that disappears into the background of how nice the yard looks until the moment you actually need it. Speaking of decks, here's the next one. The shade situation. If you spend any time in the sun at this age, you already know your skin doesn't bounce back the way it used to. And those patio umbrellas everybody buys, they blow over in any decent wind. They never go up the right way. They take up half the table. The smart move is a permanent shade structure, a pergola. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A simple cedar one at Home Depot starts around $900, and you can put it up in a weekend with a helper. Once it's up, it stays put. No wrestling with an umbrella base every time the wind shifts. No fading, no replacing every other summer. And once you've got it, you can hang a string of warm lights under it. Pull a small table underneath. The whole back deck turns into the place you actually want to sit at noon in July, not the one you avoid until the sun moves. Next one. The chairs and benches you put in the yard. There's a specific kind of chair almost everyone over 55 ends up regretting. The low one, the Adirondack tilted way back, the cute little chair that's beautiful to look at and impossible to get out of without using 2 hands and a prayer. What you actually want, at any age but especially now, is a bench or chair with a straight back, a higher seat, around 18 to 20 inches off the ground, and solid armrests you can push off of. Anything lower than that, and you're using your knees as a lever every time you stand up. This isn't about looking old. It's about not having every nice afternoon end with you grunting your way to your feet in front of the grandkids. A good garden bench with arms means you sit down, enjoy the view as long as you want, and stand back up like it's nothing. That's the whole game. Next one, the patio furniture. You might have had for a while. If you've got wrought iron out there, that heavy black metal stuff that looks elegant but weighs a ton, you might want to think about replacing it. Not because it doesn't look good, because it's an actual workout to move. Wrought iron weighs roughly 3 times what cast aluminum does. A chair you used to drag across the patio easily now feels like a job. And if you ever need to move the whole set to clean under it or store it for the winter, you're calling a neighbor. Cast aluminum looks almost identical when it's powder-coated black. You're talking maybe a third of the weight. It doesn't rust. It doesn't yellow like the cheap white plastic. You move your own furniture again. The yard looks the same, and your back isn't paying for it. Hold on for a second. Before I get to the next one, and especially before I get to number 7, the one I told you about at the start, I want to ask, are you actually planning to make some of these changes this summer? Because if you are, I do videos like this every week. The subscribe button is right there. Takes a second. All right, where were we? Next one, the steps coming off the deck. Look at them honestly. If they're tall steps with a small landing and you're over 55, those steps are going to start being a problem before you think they will. Not today, not next year, but sooner than you'd like. The smart upgrade is to replace those steep steps with a gentle stone ramp, flagstone slab. A gradual rise from the yard up to the deck. Looks beautiful. Reads as a design choice. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you actually start needing it later, it's already there. You didn't have to build some metal handicap ramp in a panic when something happened. You built a gorgeous stone walkway 10 years before you needed it because you saw what was coming. Flagstone runs anywhere from a couple bucks to $6 a square foot at Home Depot or a local stone yard. The whole job takes a weekend if you're handy, a little more if you hire it out. Either way, it's an upgrade that looks like style today and turns into a lifeline later. And here we go. This is the one I promised you. Number 7 on the list. The one nobody is going to tell you about. A second outdoor faucet at the back of the garden. That's it. That's the whole thing. Almost every American backyard has exactly one outdoor spigot attached to the house, usually near the back door, which means every single time you want to water something at the far end of the yard, you're dragging a long, heavy hose across the whole property. Heavy when it's full, twisting in the grass, knocking over plants, and every single time you do it, you're putting strain on your back, your shoulders, your knees. Plus, you've got a curled up hose lying in the lawn, which is a trip waiting to happen every time you walk past it. A second spigot at the back of the yard fixes the whole problem. You install one at the far end of the garden. You run a single line out to it underground or along the fence, and now your hose lives in the garden, not in the middle of the lawn. You walk 20 feet to water something instead of dragging a 100-foot hose with you every time. The frost-free models, and those are the ones you want, the ones that don't burst when it freezes, run $40 to $80 at Home Depot. You can install one yourself if you know basic plumbing. If you don't, a plumber does it in about an hour for a couple $100. And here's why nobody tells you about this. There's no industry pushing you toward it. Nobody who sells hoses makes more money if your hose run is shorter. It's not glamorous, it's not what you see on home design shows. It's just the single biggest I should have done this years ago upgrade I've ever heard anyone over 55 make in their backyard. That's the secret, now you know. Now that we're talking water, here's the next move. Drip irrigation with a timer. Don't roll your eyes. This is not a big technical project. Home Depot sells drip kits, Rainbird, Orbit, a few others, for about $25 to $50. The kit comes with everything: hose connectors, drip lines, stakes, a little timer that screws right onto your outdoor faucet. You set it once. The garden waters itself. This matters more at your age than it used to. At 35, watering the garden every evening is a pleasant walk with a glass of wine. At 65, missing 2 days because your knee is acting up means dead tomatoes and stressed plants you spent good money on. A timer means it gets done whether you're feeling great that day or not. And drip itself uses way less water than spraying does. You save water, you save effort, you save your plants, all for about $25. Next one, take a hard look at your lawn. If you're still mowing every weekend in summer, edging, reseeding the brown patches every spring, there's a different way, and more people over 55 are switching every year. Creeping thyme, or one of the no-mow alternatives. Creeping thyme is the one most people end up going with. It stays low, 2 to 4 inches tall, handles light foot traffic, and it has these tiny purple flowers in summer that the bees absolutely love. Once it's established, you don't mow it. You barely water it, you just look at it. Honest catch, it takes 2 or 3 seasons to fully fill in. Seeds are about $5 to $15 per 1,000 square feet. So start with a patch first, see if you like it. Expand from there. But the homeowners I know who've done this never go back. They stop renting mowers. They stop paying lawn services. And on a summer afternoon, their lawn looks like a meadow instead of a chore that's never finished. And the last one is a small upgrade with a daily payoff, a culinary herb zone right next to the kitchen door. 3 to 5 pots, basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, parsley, pots big enough to actually produce something, 12 inches across or bigger, right by the door so you can step out, snip what you need, and step back inside. The herbs themselves are $5 or $6 each at Home Depot. The pots and the soil end up costing more than the herbs do, honestly. But here's why this one matters so much at this age. You actually eat what's growing. Fresh basil tastes nothing like the stuff in the plastic clamshell at the store. Rosemary on a stake from your own bush at the door is a different thing entirely. And every time you step out to grab a handful, you're getting a small daily win. That's the feeling people are chasing when they say they want a better backyard. And it's right there at the kitchen door for under $50. So that's the 10. Path lights, a black railing, a pergola for shade, a bench you can actually stand up out of, cast aluminum instead of heavy iron, a stone ramp instead of steep steps, that second faucet at the back of the garden, a drip system with a timer, creeping thyme instead of grass, and the herb zone by the kitchen door. You don't have to do all 10 this year. Pick the 2 or 3 that fix the things that already annoy you. Add the rest over the next couple of summers. In 5 years, you've got a backyard that's quietly doing the work for you while you enjoy it. One last thing before you go. If you've got a fire pit out there, and at this point most folks over 55 do, there are 7 really specific things almost everybody gets wrong with them. The kind of mistakes that turn that fire pit from the highlight of your summer into the $200 thing collecting rainwater on the patio. I walked through every one of them in another video. It'll pop up right here when this one ends. Drop a comment letting me know which of these 10 you're starting with this weekend. See you in the next one.